This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning. This is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 20th of September. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. ES has gone higher and has actually made a new all-time high on ES2. So if that was needed, and I'm not convinced it was needed, then that has been completed as well. We've got no current negative divergence, and we've got a nice-looking support trend line. And I'll talk more about that on the RTH charts, but that's currently in about the 57 area. Our NQ, no current negative divergence, not a bad support trend line either. So we will see how that goes. RTY, have a nice looking rising wedge here. We actually came down and we came up again, and we've come down and it's testing support. Hasn't broken yet. We will see whether it does break, but it's not a bad looking rising wedge, and I'm watching it. Looks as though it might be very slightly breaking here at the moment, but this is a nice wedge. I'm thinking at the very least, if it breaks down today, as it looks as though it might, then we should see at least some retracement, possibly even a back test of the monthly pivot at 2187.50. YM, nice looking rising wedge here. Again, thinking the same. Could we improve this with a retest of the high and setting up some sell signals? Yeah, we get a weak sell signal brewing on YM. We've already got one, an old one, on RTY. NQ, we wouldn't get one. It's come down too low, and ES, it's come down too low as well. DAX, we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed, and we've broken the rising support here. On ESTX, we don't have a sell signal. And we're not going to get one. It's come down too low. So I'm wondering about a retracement here. Full scale reversal. Not seeing a lot of sign of it so far. Let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. Okay. Let's have a look at the SPX and ES setups here. Now, I was saying that if we saw a retracement, and we did, then we could come back and set up a negative divergence on the RSI 5. We did not do that. We went up and had a very strong day, and that went through any negative divergence there could have been. Now, that doesn't mean we can't still set it up, but we'd need another retracement, and then we'd need another retest. So looking at SPX, exactly the same. No current negative divergence there either. Looking at the hourly chart, we got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, which hasn't quite failed, but could, obviously, if we see more upside today. We've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed, and if we didn't already have one, another one would have fixed here. On the 5-minute, I've drawn this out, and this isn't a bad-looking rising wedge, which would have overthrown and could be about to break down. Would that be a sign of a major reversal? No, we don't really have the signals suggesting a major reversal here. That doesn't mean we can't see one, but there's not a lot to hang your hat on in terms of indications. In terms of seeing a retracement here, yeah, we may well see that. I've got a possible head and shoulder neckline at 56.15. That could be support, or we could go down a little lower, but I am wondering about a retracement of this wedge. Okay, let's have a look at NDX. NDX obviously has been much slower to the upside. It's now seen a decent break of the RSI 5, so if we were to set up a sell signal, this wouldn't be a bad time to do it. It's testing the daily 2SD upper band. Let's just have a quick look at that on SPX, where we were just slightly over it but closed under it today. These are now pointing up. We could do more upside. You know, remember my comments when we were down at the low here that these were still coming back in. So it'd be very hard to get a sustained move down here. This wouldn't be hard to have a sustained move up. These are now moving up, and if we have a succession of strong days, they'll start moving up faster. Looking at NDX on the hourly chart, no current divergence, slightly over this resistance here at 19,938. 15-minute chart, still, though, we've got a new RSI 14 sell signal that's fixed, haven't marked it on there yet. And on the 5-minute, not an awful lot to see, really. We've got an okay rising support trend line here. Not sure. I haven't marked in a pattern here because I'm not really seeing anything strong. That changes on Dow, where we have a really nice rising wedge that's overthrown slightly. This, again, is suggesting we may well see some retracement here. RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the 15-minute. Obviously, we've gone higher. This is, We haven't lost the double top setups yet, but they are deteriorating. They're not as good as they were. Go up significantly further, and I'll be abandoning this one because the SPX one is better. But the overall setup here kind of was depending on both of these. I don't really want to see Dow go significantly higher than this. Otherwise, we're going to lose this setup, and it's likely to be a break up. On Dow, we've got a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed. Gone a bit higher on it, but it's still there. And on the hourly chart and on the daily chart, we went higher again. We could set up a sell signal here, but we would not be. We would need a pullback and then a retest to set up proper negative divergence. Have we? Well, I marked this in as well and said that we could reach this wedge resistance. We're pretty close to it, but we didn't quite hit it yesterday. We might need a little higher for that. That could do bad things to the double top setup, of course. But I've drawn this in as though it's going to do that. So I'm watching this, and if we reach that, then obviously we've got a possible area of resistance there. Let's have a look at IWM. IWM, not got a great deal in terms of a pattern here. And I've not marked it in because it's not really an awful lot to work with. This trend line here, well, we haven't made a higher high here. And even if we did, we may well be coming down from basically a break of this trend line here. So do we have an overall pattern here? Not really, I don't think. We might just have a resistance trend line here. That could give us more to work with. Not really. Nothing strong. So not really seeing anything particularly on IWM. And looking at the hourly chart, nice. We've now got a nice RSI 14 sell signal brewing. On the daily chart, again, we could set up an RSI 5 sell signal, but we need a pullback and a retest to get it. All right. So where are we looking at here? We're looking as though we may well be breaking up, which not all to be altogether a surprise because the Fed really gave the market everything it wanted the other day. So I wouldn't be astonished to see a break up. Could we see a pullback here? Yeah, there's plenty of indications we might see a pullback here, and I'm thinking we may well see that on Friday or Monday. Just to remind you, where's the target? If we do break up on SPX, it's here. I've got this basically, depending on when it was hit, I'd be looking for this to be hit in the 5,900 to 6,000 area, and that would be the next big resistance. It would take a little while to get there. You can see the 3SD upper band's not that far above, but it wouldn't take too long. We could hit this by the end of the month or early in next month. If we are breaking up, and this would be a place where I would be looking for significant resistance. So we will see how that goes. All right, probably get a post out today if I got time, but my son's come back for a day, so I'm not sure I will have time, but I'll try. All right, DX. DX, we've got a nice looking double bottom here. Really, I'm leaning more towards the downside. So, but we'll see how it goes. It's a nice looking double bottom. I'm watching it. ZB. ZB is broken down from the head and shoulders. From the double top. We've got a target in about the 124.07 to 124.10 area, and I'm not seeing any current reason to think that won't make target. CL. Still leaning towards the upside here. We've still got on WTIC an RSI 5 buy signal. The one on CL has now made the possible NMS target. Leaning towards more upside, wondering about the monthly pivot at 74.84. This is obviously, I'm going to be rolling this into the November chart over the weekend, and the same with NG. NG, we have a nice looking double top here, but it came down to rising support and held. So we've now got a nice rising support trend line and what looks like a failed double top. So I don't have an obvious matching trend line for this. I'll be looking over the weekend, but this is a nice three-touch trend line now. That was one of the obvious support levels, and this means that we're probably going to have a pattern fairly shortly, probably when I do my next post, because I'll have worked one up over the weekend. All right, GC. GC, we had a double top here, it failed, and we've gone higher. SI, we had a double top here, it failed, and we've gone higher. HG, I've got a possible, I think this is a channel or other rising wedge. I'm watching this because this hasn't been broken yet. We could still be forming an overall bear flag on HG, so we will see. All right, let's have a look at the other charts. UUSD hasn't quite retested the high yet, and I'm expecting it to. GBP USD has retested the high. Possible double top set up here. nothing compelling saying it's about to turn down though. USD JPY. We've got a move towards this declining resistance trend line. If the dollar's going to turn back down, I'd expect to turn this back down too. And USD CAD, we've got a decent looking double top setup trying to break down. If the dollar's going to turn down, I would expect this to play out and retest this low. On Australian dollar, we've got decent looking little channel here, which I'm watching. Next obvious target within the channel would be channel support in the 67.50 area. And haven't quite retested the high on NZ, and I think we're likely to. I think this is a flag that's broken up. So it's got a fair number of indicators suggesting that the dollar's going to go down a little more, and potentially it could go down a lot more. KC, this looks like a bullish consolidation. Setting up a retest of this high and very possibly higher. SB, we've now got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing after this spike up. I'm liking a retracement here, so we'll see how that goes. On CT, sorry, hang on, wait a second. Right, CC. CC, still expecting to see a retest of this high here in the 82.40 area. Not seeing anything compelling saying it's not going to do that retest. CT. Possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, wondering about a bit of a retracement here. We'll see. ZW, I think this IHS is going to fail. We doesn't need to get an awful lot lower. We just need to get back below about 558 rather. We're getting pretty close to that. We will see. But if it fails, then we're probably going to see a retest of this low here in the 520 area. All right, let's have a look at corn. Didn't retest this high, so this isn't a nice looking double bottom. Nice looking double top. Looks like we've got a 60-minute buy signal brewing. It might be about to come back and have another try at that. Soy didn't retest the high, so I'm still looking for a retest of this high there too. I'm thinking we may see a bit of a rally on all of the grains while we do that. Lumber, we've got a nice looking head and shoulders here. This hasn't failed yet, but I'm wondering if it might. If it doesn't, we should see a retest of this low here at 473. If it does, we should see a retest of this high here in the 478 area. Sorry, 548 area. Let's have a look at the LE chart. Now this was a better double bottom looking at the October chart, but I think this is broken up with a target in the 186 area, and I'm not seeing anything particularly suggesting that won't make target. Lean hogs, we've got a double top here, nice looking double top setup, nothing really suggesting it's going to play out, but we will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at questions and have another look at ES. Okay, Nikkei, let's have a look. Alrighty. Right, Nikkei. Nikkei has been weak. We're actually still struggling to get back over the daily middle band. This would be a really, really obvious area to fail. Bigger picture, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the weekly. We had this lovely double top which made target very, very suddenly, and we've been consolidating since. We're under the weekly pivot and weekly middle band, and we're under the daily middle band. That's not encouraging. This may well turn back down. But I think a lot depends on what happens in the US market as well. If we're actually going to break up, which we might well, and it may be that we've started to break up already, then this will probably get back over the daily middle band and do some damage to the upside. Until then, it's below the middle band, it's below the 200 DMA, it's below the 50 DMA. This is not a great looking situation. So we will see how it goes from here. All right, great. Let's have a look at ES. I'm seeing quite a lot of things suggesting that we're going to see a retracement. I'm not seeing an awful lot suggesting a major high here. If we see a retracement and then we come back and retest the high, we can set up some really nice sell signals, but obviously we need a retracement first. There is an indication we're going to see that. We will see how it goes. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I'm certainly planning to have a good one myself. I'm not sure there'll be a bigger picture chart, bigger picture webinar on Sunday, because I'll be away a lot of the weekend. But I will try and get one out if I can. If not, I'll try and do one Monday. All right. Cheers, guys. Everyone have a great weekend.